Hi, Mom.
Oh, you missed the best 5
right.
minutes of the show right there.
Yes, Mom, they are. And my values are the exact same.
I don't know. I don't think mine are.
Because I feel like you can sit in a room somewhere and learn a bunch of information, but there's only so much stuff that someone could say during, you know, one of those breakout sessions or something when you're at like a lunch and learn or you're at.
Of course, our good friends at Steph's Bookkeeping, great ribbon
Getting distracted and just tell your story.
And we sent them fine.
Okay. Welcome in to In the Know with Steph and Joe. We've got a piano full of people today, and we're talking about power partners.
That's it.
One go-to or a full bench.
So we kind of pre-discussed this a bit, and I'm excited to get into it. But first, let's make introductions.
Yes.
Right? No, Dawn, we're starting with you.
Oh. Hi, Dawn Bremer from the Bremer team of Keller Williams Success.
Full introduction. What's your email? What's your phone?
Oh,
How do they get a hold of you? Yeah, that way
we
people want to know where this knowledge is
want it
coming
all,
from
Dawn.
and how to get a hold of you.
Let me start over. Dawn Bremer, the Bremer team of Keller Williams Success. You can reach me at 847-456-6334. Bremer team, BREMER team 18@gmail.com.
Is that the one that I text you to or the one that I call you from?
You do either one.
I know, dude. It's so confusing. It's so bizarre.
They get it.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm always
To
guessing.
be honest, it depends on which phone you most recently texted me or called me from.
Thank you.
But what he does is he calls me on my personal line.
No,
and
I
then
text
he'll
you on your
text me
personal.
on my personal line and say, "Can I call you?" And I say yes. And then downstairs, my work phone is ringing. When I have to go downstairs, I answer the phone, and I'm like, "You just texted me."
I love it.
I don't understand.
Oh goodness.
Because in an iPhone, when you go to call, it just
That's why
automatically
iPhones are stupid.
puts the phone. Nope.
I don't have one either, Don. I agree with Don.
All right.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Michael.
What's going on? I'm Michael Adams, Bremer team, Keller Williams Success as well. You can reach me at 815-271-2078. My email is mzadams@kw.com.
And he's a boogie golfer.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
That's what it says on there.
He
Boogie.
just joined his first golf league.
I did.
Nice.
Just joined the McHenry Golf League. Going to be out there next Tiger Woods. You better watch out.
And I
don't know.
I love that for you. That's
Park girl.
Oh,
so that I
really?
can watch.
Oh, okay.
That's us.
There it is.
You're gonna get some of those fun trick balls that like blow up and things like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it.
Yeah, the only
All right, no.
African American man at the club. Let's make a bigger scene. I'm sorry.
Well, hang on. County.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry. I'm kidding. Not wrong. No, it's a little wrong.
It is a little, but it's okay to be wrong.
All right. We're talking power partners. I'm going to start with a couple questions. Let's just get this conversation started, right? First, let's go into what do you guys value the most when you're looking for a power partner, right? And to define a power partner, we're talking people that you use on a regular basis because these are people that are integral to your part of business, right? For you to get business done for the real estate world, it is attorneys, it's inspectors, it's insurance, it's mortgage brokers, right? All that kind of stuff goes into one transaction of a home.
Mhm.
So for you guys, what do you guys do what do you look for that really makes you want to do business with that power partner, right? Is it, and I got some examples: speed, price, quality, reputation, all of them, something else.
communication.
Communication.
It's none of them.
Really? Something else?
Communication. It's for us, we have 5 business days from the time we have a fully executed purchase contract to get it inspected, looked at, discuss with our clients, find out what we need, and get it all approved and agreed upon within 5 business days.
Okay.
That is something that people don't realize. Time is important, but communication is more important. So if we have a home inspector that goes out on a Monday at 9 a.m. and it's Wednesday and I still don't have a home inspection report, that's probably not a home inspector that I want to go back to. If I have a home inspector and they are telling us important things at the inspection that says this is a flag, and hey, you know what? Not only I think we should stop the inspection, let's just walk away. I'll charge you a quarter of the price and then we'll move on to the next one. Instead of finishing it, pointing it all out, showing everything, and stealing the client's money every time.
Love that. So, Michael, what some people may not know about you is you have a military background.
Correct.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I told you before, but so your background with the military in building teams, right? It may be a little more micro, but you do need somebody that does a little bit of everything, right? And that's kind of building your team there. Do you look for the same type of thing with communication? What's the things you guys looked for and appreciated in a team environment in that aspect?
Yeah, so I'd agree with Dawn right there with that communication. And I think speed is also relatively important in this industry because, like she had said, you have 5 days from when you have that executed contract before you have to get an inspection done and close all that stuff out. And, you want to be able to have an inspector who's going to be available, who's going to be upfront and honest with your clients. And I think that goes right hand in hand with that communication, being able to communicate well that you're, hey, this, like she said, like there's major issues with this home. Let's end here. Let's be done. And in charge them at a lower rate. And then being able to provide that home inspection report in a reasonable amount of time, whether it's right there at the end of the home inspection or within 24 hours, we want to be able to look at this so we can move on to the next step and figure out, hey, here's what we want, here's what we need, here's what needs to be repaired. So yeah, I would, agree with Dawn with that.
And it's in moving even in further on the communication, if we have an attorney that won't communicate with an agent, but will only communicate with a fellow attorney, it kills deals. It's the number one killer of deals is the lack of communication.
You want to screw anything up, include attorneys.
Yeah. It's the truth though, because in all honesty, I want to know, I talk to my clients, we decide what it is that we're going to pay for on the listing side or what we're going to ask for on the buyer side. And then if a lawyer just blatantly says, here's the inspection report, and they assume this is what they want, they cancel the deals, or all of a sudden we'll be like, what do you mean you canceled the deal? Why? Well, I talk to my clients and they don't want to move forward.
Right.
Well, hi, anybody want to tell us? And so it's really important for lots of things in our business.
When we, much similar to that, so when we have a loss on a house, we will go to the adjuster and the homeowner, right, the policyholder, and we'll start correspondence with them, and we'll include everybody because we want everybody to know what's going on, right? That full communication, full transparency. Hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. You have certain things that you can and can't include, right? And certain parts to the law and what you're allowed to include in your communications and things like that. But for us, we need to communicate with the adjuster what we're doing with the homeowner, because actually our contract's with the homeowner and the contract with the homeowner is with the adjuster, right? Or that insurance company. So our communication with the adjuster has nothing to do with it. We always include them. And every time we start to get into like back and forth with the adjuster, the adjusters start to take the homeowner off of the emails. And we're like, no. We have this communication with this person that we're doing the work with, right? Not with somebody else. So communication to us is paramount. You mentioned speed. Speed and accuracy.
Yeah, speed and accuracy. Let me replace it with more so like time is of the essence. You know,
Yes.
we want to have, accurate information, but we want to have it in a reasonable amount of time because we want to be able to, like I said, move on to those next steps, to be able to communicate to it. And
A sense of urgency, if you will.
that sense of urgency.
Yep.
Correction.
Yeah.
Correct. And actually, to go back to one thing too, that Don kind of made me think of is, our clients look to us, whether they don't necessarily always understand who their question should be directed towards. They come to us as their realtor a lot of times to answer a question that may be more catered for the attorney or for the lender.
Mhm.
But it's a lot easier for us to answer these questions for our clients if we are all, if we have great communication from our attorneys, from the lenders, whether it's through email. So that way, if our client calls us and says, hey, I have this question about XYZ, it's easy for us to be able to communicate to them right then and there and be able to essentially almost quarterback that deal for them, because we are their first point of communication that they usually look to.
Absolutely.
And going back to speed, it is important for speed for a different reason. And I'm not talking about as much to, oh my
Yep, there it was.
What is it? What is it? ASMR?
Yes, it is.
Something I learned on this show.
Okay. I'm just going to keep talking.
Yes,
So,
you should.
Anyway, for speed, here's the thing. So for instance, in the past, when I've called you and I'm at a house and
Yeah.
I'm at the beginning of a listing and I'm noticing discoloration, right? And I'm now waiting to see what that is going to be, what it's going to entail, what it's going to cost, how much it's going to affect me getting it on the market.
Mhm.
I can't wait a week and a half for you to have an opening to go and get it. I need you to come in as soon as possible, look at it, address it, because timing of when you put a house on the market is all about what supply and demand are. And if I'm in a high demand and it takes somebody 3 weeks to get mold done or whatever
Whatever it may be.
not
Yeah.
only does it cost the client a few $1,000s in your mitigation, but it also is going to cost the client thousands of dollars in market time.
Exponentially more. Right.
So,
Correct.
I can't have a power partner that can't get there for a week or two.
Interesting. Then my question next would be, do you feel that what is your weight on loyalty versus performance? Right? You got a power partner now. You've picked him or her, a human. You've picked a human that you really love as a power partner. Come on.
Yeah.
And now it's about, loyalty versus performance. And let's dive down that, right? Obviously this person to you probably performed well to get onto your list,
Mhm.
right? And so then it comes down to, well, now is performance the only thing? Is it loyalty as well? And what if they were to say drop the ball, or something like that? Like let's kind of suss out that middle section of maintaining those power partners that we have.
For me, it's always going to go to performance. I need to make sure that I am giving the best in the business. Yes. it is
Yeah, you
performance.
do. Yeah,
That
you
is true.
do.
I like that.
Just take a moment. Look. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all
It's
about
all
the
about that
performance.
performance. Yeah.
Anyway.
No, you don't.
So anyway, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the best inspector for my clients who's not going to miss anything, right? I'm going to have the best attorney for my client that knows how to communicate well with everybody. There are going to be times where people make mistakes. Everybody is human. There's no perfection.
Totally
right?
love that.
So there are going to be times that they screw up and they make a mistake. We're not a one and done.
Mhm.
If they're dropping the ball and their service has declined or they've gotten too big to be able to handle my clients,
Seem
the
like
best-
they were
correct.
when you first
right?
joined
so
them,
maybe
right?
They started with me when they're small because I'm always about helping beginners, right? I
Love
think
that.
if you don't help a beginner, who will?
Mhm.
And again, I apologize, but yes, beginners are good. So anyway,
You don't apologize.
I'm sorry, I don't. Anyway,
As long as they're communicating.
that's
to
right.
you,
As
you're fine.
long as we're communicating, we're good. Everybody. So, one more. Okay. So, but so that's the important part, right? Is it may not, if you get too big because you've got too many referrals and too many clients,
Mhm.
you may not be able to
I
be
just-
my preferred vendor.
I just want to say that Lynn pops in and says, "Go Joe." And then a good friend of ours, Stephanie Conley, is
I told her to come here.
very missed. We're going to be excited to get her back on the air.
Yeah, we're gonna have her back in May for sure.
Yay.
Yes. So we're
Whoop,
excited.
whoop, whoop.
We're excited. Yes. Maybe
yes.
we get you back in May too.
I will definitely have to come back with.
Yeah,
that.
we'll all sit around the piano again,
Yes.
making
That's,
clappy noises,
That's
performance noises.
clappy noises, some
Yeah.
ASMR.
ASMR.
All right. So it's, I'm curious, at what point do you draw the line then when you feel like performance isn't there? You know, like how do you,
How many fumbles?
let's start with military style. When you start to really mess up.
To know his answer to this.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm
Are
talking
we talking
military.
about
I'm
his
talking about
Yeah. We didn't ask you about your mistakes.
We can suss that out later.
Here's
Joe.
one of mine.
Wait, who's
All
the
right.
daddy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I like my
it's like a cookie pop, the world will never know.
All right. All right.
Oh,
What
goodness.
happened? What can you let us know about what happened when you made mistakes and how people, because not everybody makes it through the military.
Right.
Is kind of the thing, right? So at what point are they being like, nope, you're done, you're out of the team, right? And then we'll kind of move on to that. Now, whether or not it's internal team or external team, we could suss that one out.
I think more so because it's not a matter of like you're gonna get kicked out if you just like if you're getting popped in a drug test, you're getting kicked out. But I think let's narrow it down
Why
to
I'm
like
out.
the day-to-day. It was like a big saying in the military was one time it's like an accident, two times the trend, meaning if you make that mistake once, okay, whatever, you can you can fix it. But once you see the second time, it's like, oh wait, this might become an issue because now you're seeing a pattern of that repeat behavior. And I think
Right.
I think that translates very well in terms of picking your power partners because, like she said, people make mistakes. But let's say you have, a power partner who made that same mistake twice within a relatively short period of time, whether for you it's a month, 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever, that's up to you. I think that's kind of a good indication. Now, if it's, there's something deeper going on, so they got something personal going on, like whatever, you can, figure that out between you and them. But I think that's kind of a good indication is if you're starting to see the same repeated mistakes or multiple mistakes over a short period of time, it's like, hey man, like this isn't going to work out because ultimately we are referring you to our client. And so, so in some way, shape or form, you are a representation of our business. So if you're not giving them the best service, how does that reflect now towards us as their realtor?
Right. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it depends on the coaching that we've given them. So if I,
back to the communication,
it's all,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. It's all communication.
Okay.
I make it very clear. If I call you out to look at my house, a listing or whatever it is for my client, not only are you going to communicate that with the client, but I should be your second call, if not your first call, to tell me what's going on. I don't want to get a call from my client saying, yeah, we have mold, or hey, yeah, you know what, this happened. I need to hear about it from the person that I asked to go there.
Totally.
Right? Just like you were talking about that you include that client because that's technically your client, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm technically your client in the beginning because I hired you to go to my client. I said to you, I trust you to go to my
show
client.
up.
That means I made the first call.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of power partners forget.
If they forget, because that one is a tough one, especially when it comes to like some people that are actually in business with, or their contract is with your client, right? So it is kind of a love triangle, right? In the sense of for us, that would be you, and then our our contracts with the client, but yeah, we're going to contact you because
Or
you reached out to us.
correct. Or at your initial appointment, if I'm saying to you, Joe, these are my terms for you to service my clients, then your job at that first initial appointment with that client is, are you okay with me including Dawn in all communication?
Yeah.
Because I already told you that's what I want.
Yeah.
And I already told them that I'm going to tell you to do that. So now you're asking it. So you're relieved from whatever legality you have.
There
but
you go.
now you know, because that's my reason for hiring you.
How often do you feel like you need to approach someone and say, this is what I need, this is what I'm looking for, and just to tweak it and adjust it slightly, right?
Well, first of all, for sure in the beginning. It's
Okay.
for sure in the beginning, it's always an adjustment period of what our expectations are, right?
Right.
And our expectations are the same for all 10 of us because we all do business exactly the same way. It's a team, so they're all trained the same way. We all are required to follow the same procedures. So our hope is that if you work with me or Michael or Lori or Dan and any of my agents, you're getting the exact same experience, whether it's me, myself, or a representation of our company, right?
Love that. I just want to say we try to represent that as well. That's a really hard thing to do to maintain throughout your entire company, right?
It is, but I approach my business differently. I am not their boss. I am their partner and I'm really their coach. So they don't work for me. They can come in when they want to. They can sell 4 houses a year or 14 houses a month.
Whatever they want to do.
Whatever they choose to do, I'm just their coach. So I coach them to do the same. So because it's a working formula.
Love that. Love that. And you feel that's the same way, and you take that and expand it out into all your peoples, your humans.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm never going to be anybody's boss. I'm just going to be their coach.
Point us in the right direction.
You know, I don't feel like you're my coach sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a little I mean, I wasn't the same role on Iron Fist, but no, it is true though.
Stalin was a coach.
He had a soccer team, right?
Eventually you get to know, you can answer my phone and not be scared.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you answer my phone call and you're like,
No.
Oh.
Hang on. I called you and I go, Dawn, I fucked up. I told you something that wasn't right. Right?
And what did I say?
And it wasn't bad, but I'm not ever afraid of that kind of thing, right? Like that to me isn't something that I'm going to be like, oh, I'm afraid to make that call. I'll make that call. But at the same time, it was, your reaction. I knew it would be awesome. Okay. Yep. I knew it. We're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We're moving on. Yep. Sweet.
Michael will tell
About
you,
this. Next. Boop,
what's
boop.
the most important thing to me?
Honesty.
It's honesty and integrity. That's it.
And
and what?
never mind. And performance communication.
Enhancers.
Performance and communication enhancers.
But it's the truth. Everybody's going to fuck up. The worst thing that you could do to me is when I say, what happened here? Why did you do this? Oh, it must not have been me. It was, or you told me to do that. Or I no, I don't know. I mean, literally, I've had somebody who they did every step in the file, but they claimed they didn't do that last step, right? It wasn't them. So it's like you own what you make a mistake on. If you said to me, Dawn, I screwed up. Oh my God, I didn't realize I did that. My response is, cool, fix it and let's not do that again. But if you tell me that it wasn't your mistake or you blame somebody else, I'm out.
Oh man.
We had somebody that we hired on a Monday.
Oh yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Monday morning, that was her first minute in my office at 10 o'clock. Yeah. She was out of my office at 12:15 to go do something, but I found out it was a lie. She did not work for me on Tuesday. That is not going to how you're going to start a job at my office.
100%. Oh my gosh.
But I don't
understand kids these days.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
yeah. So Dawn's mom's looking for a job now. Steph says, undoubtedly, I am always the boss.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
let me tell you, we were in the car with, Stephanie told me something about something she did with her staff. I told Michael, and Michael was like, I'm really scared of Stephanie just ever to see her again. He's like, I could never work for Stephanie. Yeah. She's scary. I'm scared of Stephanie.
She is. She's a boss.
I love you, Steph.
Yeah.
As long as, listen, the only time I'm scared of her is when she backs me down in a dark parking lot with a bag of dicks.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's about the only time I'm afraid.
Yeah.
what got me here.
Eric says, I found as I've gotten older, falling on your sword is the most powerful thing.
That is true.
Yeah, the Dawn loves. Never mind. On your sword.
Trip and fall.
Yeah.
Trip and fall.
So when we talk power partners, and we're saying one go-to or a bench, I prefer a bench always, right?
I was kind of going to get to that one very soon.
All right,
because I'm curious what your theory is and what your mindset is, and then how do you rank your bench? Is it straight up you just pick one, or is it like I got them ranked first string, second
no,
string?
I mean, if you got a Michael Jordan, you're going to give Michael Jordan the ball as much as you can, right? But there are times when Michael can't play, right, or is busy or whatever,
on vacation,
maybe on vacation. And so I think you have your go-tos, but then you got the people on the bench that you're going to say, okay, I need to. So and communication is still the key, right? So when I sold my house, Dawn and I are like brother and sister, but I had to go to Dawn and explain the reason why I'm not using her to sell my house or help me find the new one, because of the arrangement that happened and because of the agreement that I had with Kevin Callback. But I didn't, because of the power partner and because of our relationship, I had to go and have a difficult conversation because I respect and love what she does. She's one of the best in America.
Was it hard to talk to her? Was she amazing?
No, she was amazing, right? And she totally understood, right?
Yeah.
But what Alice and I didn't want to do is have her find out through the chamber, or wait, you just sold a what? We used Resto One for to clean the attic, right?
Yep.
Clean the attic, call Joe. That's what we did, right? And so the amazing thing is you guys came in and it was awesome, right? There was a company, it was a color of a shield, and they came in and did some electrical work for us, right? They're not around anymore, but anyway, whatever, right?
Thank you.
But the bottom line is, when you have a bench, you have to communicate more.
Jeez.
Right? You have to communicate more.
100% agree with that.
Right?
Those statements.
Right? Stephanie says, how do you feel when a client and or a power partner recommends someone else online due to networking groups?
That was actually my next question. Similar to that, it was, how do you handle it when a client wants to use someone other than your go-to partner, right? So similar, if somebody says, nah, I'm going to go with this person, right? And this is kind of a twofold. One, it's successful. Two, it's not. And you're like, bitch, please, you should have used my guy, right? Or my human, right? Yeah.
Well, we are obligated by law to recommend 2 service providers for every
service.
So
okay.
We have a book in our directory, and it's got 2 of everything. 2 of everything. 2 lawyers, 2 mortgage companies, 2. We are not allowed. It's called steering, and we're not allowed to do that. Now, how we always start when we talk about our power partners is we say, in the back of our directory, in the back of our marketing book, we have a list of all of our preferred vendors that we highly recommend. We are not allowed to get a kickback. We are not allowed to ask for $1. We are strictly using people that we like, know, and trust. And most of them I personally used.
Right.
Which is a very important thing for me. I do try to use almost all of my power partners. And then if you don't have one, here's a free directory for you. And if you would like our recommendation, we'll talk about it. And then I base it on their personality. If I have an attorney, I have an attorney that I love. He is my go-to attorney. He has been my attorney for 10 years. He's handled my closings, my family's closings. He does everything. And he is like an incredible doctor with the worst bedside manner. He is not a hand holding,
Cold hands and
he is like,
Short
here's,
fingers.
this is what they said. And seriously, very icy cold fingers. And so
short fingers.
yes. So I also have attorneys that are, they over explain. They just really go into depth and it could take forever. They're
Totally.
really earning their money.
You got the spectrum?
Yes. I got the whole wide extra spectrum. So if I have somebody that I know is going to need this lawyer,
Hand holding
and
versus
hand-holding, who's going to ask 80
yeah,
million
doesn't care
questions
and wants
and
it.
won't annoy Roger,
Mm-hmm.
then I will not use them.
That was like when I got my vasectomy. The doctor I went to, she goes, well, we got two. This one, his bed manners are like next to
Yep.
none. He's just grip, rip, and you're out, right? And this one will tell you everything. And I went, grip, rip, and I'm out.
Right.
Thank you.
You're like, I'm done. I'm done.
Thank you. I want it in and out.
Literally what I say to my clients. I always say he's one of the best attorneys I've ever had the privilege to work with. He is super communicative and he doesn't do stuff without always checking with us, but he does not have the best bedside manner.
Mhm.
So if you're looking for kind and patient and this is not your person,
Mhm.
if you need somebody else, so those are your choices. And that's kind of how we help them.
Love that.
Mhm.
Love that.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, I mean, spot on, 100%.
Wow. I'm glad we brought him.
It's the excellent input that he has. Well thought out.
I mean, but that's the reason he doesn't is because, like I said, we all do it the same.
Right.
Which to the point of it's successful,
Yes.
right? It is successful. You guys are very successful. You're out there. You have great power partners. People, in fact, call you just to use your people,
Correct.
right? And that's
Absolutely.
something to be proud of in itself.
Mhm.
It's also, I mean, yes, that's true. And I'm not going to discount that because I do appreciate it. We work really hard to have the reputation that we have, and we
Mhm.
really care about our community and our clients. However, it also really goes to what the service providers help us with, because we couldn't do all of what we do and accomplish everything if we didn't surround ourselves with incredible power partners, right?
So yeah.
Your industry is very
Yes.
driven with other
And
industry
let's
or
be,
with other.
let's be really
yeah.
honest. The number one referral source is probably a realtor.
Yeah.
Because we can refer almost
guys
anything.
just-
That's right.
Right.
We really do. And let me tell you, ask us how much we really get back from our providers.
Womp, womp,
Wah, wah,
womp.
wah. Our own,
Whoa,
our
I
referral
just gave you
partners-
a ton of candy.
you did give me a ton of candy.
Yeah,
But
all
that's
right.
what we were talking about. That's how this whole thing
there you
came
go.
out, right?
Yep, yep,
So-
there you go.
And-
So Stephanie asks, this question is for Michael. What category does she fall under?
What-
Stephanie Conley.
In terms of what category? Like,
Yeah. Is she a power partner? Is she on the bench? Is she?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, she asking about Stephanie, what she is to us?
Yes. This is for Michael. What category does Stephanie
I mean,
fall
yeah,
under for you?
Stephanie is absolutely one of our
Because
power partners.
she scares you.
You know,
I mean,
look at you.
absolutely.
Like, oh shit!
You can see how big his
Calling
eyes
me
are.
out.
Like,
Yeah,
I looked at
we love her.
my interior camera. She's sitting in my apartment. Leave my cat alone, Stephanie. Right? Ginger has nothing to do with it.
And Eric, yes, that trumpet has been played. Every instrument in here.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we got onto this conversation because we came up with the show because
Of our conversation.
correct.
Because we were talking about how many referrals realtors give out and how
Mhm.
very little we get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to insult anybody.
Mm-mm.
Not everybody knows somebody who needs to sell a house.
Mhm.
Not everybody, they have pre-existing relationships with people, right?
Preach, girl.
Right. So like Kent and I are super, super close, but he had a pre-existing condition.
Wow.
Sorry, Kevin.
Mailman
I love you, Kevin.
Yeah.
But,
Mailman.
but he had a previous relationship with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Kelsey Adams, I refer her tons of business. Her sister's a realtor. Like it would be crazy to ask her to use me, right?
100%. Yes.
So I don't have that expectation. I do appreciate when people come to me and say, hey, listen, just wanted you to know, as you know, blah, blah, blah. This is why. That's just a kindness, right?
Right.
But what you can do for realtors is share our posts, share our
Yes.
listings. When you see us doing a community event that's for 12,000 Easter eggs, say, hey, how can I participate? Can I give you guys some candy donations? Because otherwise we pay for all of that, right?
Mhm.
And then you and I started talking about, so the more stuff that I do, which costs me all that money, thousands of dollars to do my event.
Wait. Let's not exclude the time.
Correct. The time.
The time it takes
all
you.
it does
Yes.
to do these huge events, that brings us business, which brings you business,
Right.
and you business,
Right.
and you business.
You're just
So
that.
why is it that you
spray
can't
of
refer
business.
it and you can't financially participate or donate something?
Which to me, that's kind of how I look at many of the people that were out there. We know that there's very few people that we're going to be able to refer out in certain, in most circumstances, because we can go in, we can dry a house, and we're going to do, as long as it's clean water, we're taking very little out of that house, right? What?
Stephanie's saying, am I the nice hand holding one, or am I the grip it and rip it?
Gee, let's not think.
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
second.
That one's a tough one.
I
But-
think that you're the gentle one.
Well, clearly
I thought
She-
was
she is gripping and ripping. Like I said, bag of dicks and ripping and ripping. So like that to me is where, I always, God, I lost my train of thought on that one.
That's okay. Well, let me just finish with this.
Yeah.
What you can do is show up to our events,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Share the events. I mean, we all do these things. We have any realtor, right? Because a lot of realtors are going to refer you and you're not going to refer to a lot of realtors, but you can be on their social media. And when you see this realtor have a house or an open house, share it.
Mhm.
When you see somebody that's having an event, support them.
Right. Right.
That's all it takes.
Listen,
And that builds a relationship instead of that person. I'm just going to speak from realtors saying, well, I'm just giving and giving and giving.
Right.
And y'all are just sitting
Right.
here
Listen.
going, hand me, hand me, hand me.
Right.
That's not,
Listen.
so that's part of it.
listen, Dawn, I don't have enough time or energy in the day to help out every fucking thing that you do. Good God, every other day.
Hey, listen,
I swear to God, this
wait,
woman has
wait,
so many
wait, you
events
wanna
and
know what
she
I
does
did?
so much for everybody. And I'm
Wait,
like,
you want to know what I did? I took a picture because I was in her office and I said, and I looked over and there's a whiteboard and it's two-sided. And I see all these dates written. I go, is that your calendar for the year for your events? She goes, yep. I go, click. She goes, no. Flip it around. You still got the backside. And I went, what? And I walked around and I go, shit, what I'm saying.
damn.
So to your point, I agree.
Yeah.
And don't
And I-
don't forget about like the events of opportunity that just kind of pop up throughout.
Oh,
the year that-
100%.
I'll support on those too.
Here's the thing. Can you go overboard with your power partners and like be too overwhelmed with so many things? Because I feel like some people have so many power partners and then all of a sudden they're running around and tripping over themselves
Absolutely.
almost.
But you don't have to go to every one of them. Go up.
I agree.
Go
I don't.
up to ones when they're saying, hey, when
I
you're
need you
right,
for
hey,
this.
I'm telling you that when we have community events, my biggest thing is that nobody's going to show up. It is a joke. Michael will tell you, my whole team loses their mind,
Gives me
right?
Anxiety.
It gives
Yet her last
Gives me
event
anxiety. I
had,
didn't
yet
follow.
her last event had 2,000 people.
over 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And the
Nobody's
line
gonna
went
show
all the way to
up.
20.
Nobody's
until
going to show
then-
up.
But until then, when you're putting the financial burden on me, and I worry that I'm either they're not going to show up or like this last Easter egg hunt, we made like almost 900 bags of candy. And I'm thinking, well, what happens if we run out? So then I buy tons of extra candy and extra bags to make them on the spot just in case. So
you
like,
gotta have backup
you
candy.
gotta have
Yeah.
backup
Oh
candy,
my God.
right?
You would get mugged if those
Right.
those kids would never let
Oh,
you off the property.
If you go on Facebook,
yeah.
if you go on Facebook,
Lord of the Flies.
there's a lot of people who do similar events, right? That see what something works and maybe they want to try it on their own thing. And somebody pointed out to me that there was somebody who did their first Easter egg hunt, and after 15 minutes they ran out of eggs. after 15 minutes, and it's been like all over social media that don't ever go to this event again. It was really bad. That
Yeah,
is
but
my
now with the
fear.
extra candy, you've got candy to throw in the July 4th parade.
Nobody's gonna throw Easter egg candy.
I
in
sure
the
as hell
park.
would. That's just
I freaking would.
that shit don't go bad.
A, hillbilly would.
Right, that's
And
what I'm
B,
saying.
and B, that's why you don't buy the Easter candy.
No, we
You
do.
buy
But
regular
no,
candy
you're
during
thinking
Easter.
about it wrong. I'll show you what we do.
That way it's
Now
universal
we've-
candy.
We've
Right.
touched all those Easter egg events and all those families, and we help them. And we have about 100 bags left. Well, it's Nurses Week next week. So we're going to give those to the nurses for Nurses Week. You just move it from one person to another person who can need it. Oh, you know what? Anyway, so, I'm not wearing glasses anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Slow that down. You're too fast.
I don't want to be in the middle of it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
you do. Yeah, you do.
No.
So are you the hand holding one, Mike?
Where's
Well, I'm into
Stephanie?
grip and rip today, so
Maybe
watching. All right. Let's see. Why did you decide? Well, let me put it this way. When you go with, like, you say you have to have those certain people, right? You have to give out 2 people, right, for every service or whatever. When you pick those, if somebody else better comes along, would you ever reconsider your lineup?
Okay.
Would you
well,
make trades?
No. So here's what I would tell you. Loyalty to me is incredible, and it's the foundation of my business. So if I sell somebody a house in 2000, I would hope that our connection and our loyalty, right, is
Yep.
to have them come back to me in 2020 and sell their house, right? And so if I have, let's just use Roger, my attorney. He's been my attorney. It might even be like 13 years now. I met him way before I had my own real estate license. I have been asked to use other attorneys. I have been asked to open up my own title company. And not
I'm
use them.
sure. Yeah.
I could be making more money having my own title company per transaction, quite a bit more. But then Roger would be out. And Roger was with me when I started my career. And until he retires, he will be with me in my career. That is important to me. Loyalty is absolutely everything to me.
We love you, Roger.
We do. Roger Stalk, attorney at law.
Roger that.
Shout out, Roger.
He does do that. When I give him, when I say, hey, Roger,
I
call
know.
this attorney, he always goes, Roger, Roger, or Roger that.
Or Roger
Very
Dodger.
funny.
Does he
Yeah.
ever do a Roger
We do
Dodger?
Roger Dodger.
Over under.
Roger
Yeah.
Dodger.
Under over
Yeah,
overdone.
he's very fun. You would like him. You're
What?
he's actually the older version of you. You're much friendlier, but
Mhm.
you're funny. He's very he likes to tell.
Yeah.
It's like very bad.
I love
You're-
Roger.
Does
Yeah,
he
Roger-
wear a
He
bandana?
loves to
Does
tell
he-
jokes. It's
does-
very bad.
It's inappropriate.
I'm not sure if I'm liking the. I'm not sure if I'm liking the.
How do you explain it? He's inappropriate jokes.
Right,
Yeah.
how does
What do
that
you
work?
mean inappropriate? I don't tell any inappropriate jokes.
It's great. And like him and I were just shooting the shit yesterday. Like it's
Fair,
very
Yeah.
fair.
He's
We
great.
shoot
there,
shit.
you get
Yeah, we
it.
shoot
Yeah,
shit.
he's
Yeah.
great.
All right, that's fair. That's fair enough. Okay. What advice? We'll shift gears a little bit. What advice would you guys give people that are starting to build their network for the first time and they're trying to build and find these power partners?
Michael
What-
is
what
just
ad-
starting to build his own
what-
network. Why don't you
Well,
speak to that?
does he just use your people? Because that's kind of a bias, right? Like when I started my business, we knew nobody, so I was finding everybody originally, right? And so that's kind of, if somebody's brand new, it's a little different than somebody that's got, a mentor, a coach to help them get along and find people.
Mhm.
What kind of advice?
Well, I mean, so I did. Obviously, I use a lot of the partners that Dawn had made when I first joined her team, but now I'm at a point where I'm starting to network for myself because, like Ken had said, just Michael Jordan. Sometimes he's got to take a break. Sometimes you got to have somebody to fill in. So I have to go out and build those relationships myself, and go, whether it's joining a networking group or joining the VFW, or even just joining like a club or something that is just into about one of my interests or something like that, where there's other people that I can get in front of, potentially talk about real estate, whether just like letting them know like, hey man, I'm a realtor, like, and then not really be pushy, just let them know that's what I do. And if they ever have questions, they can, ask me. So I think the advice for somebody who's just new getting into the industry, whether it's real estate or really any industry,
anything,
working for yourself, is start at the local chamber of commerce. Whether it's, if you're younger like me, join their version of the young professionals. You're going to meet people who are kind of in a very similar situation. Or if it's joining a jogging club or a biking club or other groups, just get out there, be active, where you're going to meet other individuals.
I'm going to join an ASMR club. Round of applause.
That's it.
Is that the kind of thick jokes Roger does?
Yeah.
You don't know what ASMR is?
Oh, my Lanta.
We learned about it. We don't know.
Thanks for being a fan of the show.
I don't know.
It's my own show.
Listen, I don't know what the acronym stands for.
Michael will just hand me
Yeah.
that.
It's very long, but it's not disgusting. It's just something that you definitely find. It basically is like you're into things that make sound.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Yep.
Was that the sound?
Yeah, that was the worst.
Okay.
So
can I go and address what Steph said? Because
Yes.
something.
yes,
that
you
Steph-
may.
So Steph said, how do you combat social media when somebody is in a networking group where they are required to tag the person that is their one person in that group, right? So here's what I would like to say. If you are going to go to social media and say, who's the best realtor? Who's the best for this, right? And you're going to go and get 80 million comments. If you see somebody's name repeated more than 5 times, let's say, I think it's your responsibility as the person who's asking the question to reply back either publicly, preferably, or privately. Tell me more about your experience with them. And if they can't say to you, oh, well, they sold my house. How do you know that person?
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Then that means you didn't have an experience. What you'll see in those groups where there's 300 people, asking for a realtor an hour later, is you'll see the ones that have been tagged because there's 35 of them because they're in a networking group that's the requirement. Or you'll see the ones that say, oh, Michael Adams, he was so great. He sold my first house and my second house. Or that's what you want to start to put down in your comments. If you are referring somebody, then put your experience.
So I love that because I also have become skeptical of people. Well, actually, I'm skeptical of the person asking for advice because a lot of times now I'm finding
that's true.
That in the chat group, the same person is asking every month for something new.
Right.
And you look back through their posts and you go, holy shit, that person posted that they need a new furnace this year, last year, the year before,
and what
the year before
they're
that
doing is they're scoping people to get to be referral
because
partners.
other people are now going on
Right.
and reading that post that are just in the group chat. Right. So I also am like, ugh, I just, that whole internet thing to me is not a power partner.
No, where you should go when you are looking for a referral and where you're looking for the best restoration company, the best radio station, the best anything, go to Google and look at the reviews and read the reviews. Why are you going on Facebook? I don't understand that.
Because it's all linked to whoever's posting on Facebook is friends with the person that, right? In some form or fashion,
Somehow.
it's rarely
Right.
that you're actually getting a real person
Correct.
that
Go
right.
to
I agree
Google
with you. Yeah.
and read the reviews because sometimes people will have 500 reviews and you look at them and they're just 5-star, 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 there's no comments. And but look at them, review them.
I think in 2020, when we were all locked down, that was
Right.
where a lot of, people, you don't have the yellow pages anymore.
Right.
And so people are like, I don't want to go out and necessarily look and be out in the yuck. Right. But, the people who get bent out of shape about those are the people who really don't have business anyway.
Right.
And the people who, right. right?
Wow, that's a novel point, Kate.
And the people who are, yeah, and again, to Joe's point, if you really pay attention to those groups, it's the same person asking the same thing every other 6 months, just to generate that. And of course, you know, the same piranha jump in there, you know, but a partner is not a comment on a social media. That's
right.
not a partner.
Love that point.
Right.
Great point.
That's an idiot sitting there going, well, I don't want to get kicked out of a club.
Well, that's somebody that doesn't have enough to do in their own business or life, and therefore they have time to get onto the internet and start posting.
And shame on, let me just say this. If you are out and to join a networking group, can you please not join a networking group that requires you to never recommend another person other than the other person that's in your group?
Exclusivity.
I don't, I've heard that, you know, hey, I can't refer you because I have to only refer the people in my group.
Yeah.
Well, you're not limiting them, you're limiting yourself. So
yeah,
let's
exactly.
Just be very clear on that.
Yeah, I think true power partners are people that you have professional and personal relationships with, right? It starts professional, but then you get to know each other and it grows over time.
Yep.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
A lot of the power partners that I have and know were invited to my daughter's wedding because we become close, you know, not just through business. And then it's easy to refer. Then it's easy to bring up in conversation, even when I'm standing in line at the grocery store and you hear the people in front of you talking about something. You tap on the shoulder, go, "Hey, you need a good bookkeeper."
Yeah,
listen,
it's natural.
I know one. She's got a show on my radio station, but she's not one of my partners, so I can't tell you about her. But let me tell you, right? However, I'll post it on Facebook, right? No, right? But it's easy. But it's easy at that point.
I'll give
when,
you a
when you
comment.
hear a conversation, or you're at church, or whatever the case may be, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, I got a guy, I got a gal,"
and that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And use your partners,
Yeah.
not just for referrals, but use them for your own homes, your own businesses, your own things that you need, right?
Totally agree.
Yes.
What? Oh yeah, 5 minutes.
No.
8 minutes.
The other thing is this: a good power partner, you should never ask for. You know what I'm saying? They get paid to do something, right? If your partner says, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to do this for you at, you know, the Joe discount," but don't ever ask your power partner, "Hey, Joe, I need you to come over, get some mold, but will you do it for $10?
Right. Oh, you're saying don't go to somebody that's your power partner and ask
And
for their
expect
service
Yeah.
for a discount.
Yeah.
Love that point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
And they're not a real power partner
Correct.
for you.
Okay. So now that kind of leads into my last question here. Well, second to last, because we always have one at the end.
That's right.
Yeah, right. So it's the same one.
That's what scares me.
What did you learn?
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the
That's a good
goddamn show.
big
I
fan.
didn't watch my own
Big
show.
fan.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry,
All
I'm
right.
too busy doing community events.
He really is.
Running the school, doing community events.
Forgive me for
All right.
our show.
Okay. When it comes to a power partner and you're learning, you're meeting somebody, you're getting somebody new, it's a potential power partner. What is a non-negotiable for you? Because this is meant to be quick and fast and funny. Because non-negotiable for me is when you're late constantly. If you're late, the time like if you're always late, I'm done. Like I just can't. I can't deal with people that are not on time.
Yeah.
What's yours?
That one's me.
Better not say late.
You're not gonna say it?
No, I said better not say late.
That is a good one.
Yeah,
Thank you. What do you mean, Don?
Michael, what's yours?
Listen, it's not mean you because we've never had a scheduled event.
I would say I'm gonna steal Don's communication. It's like, just
If you don't communicate.
if you don't communicate to us well, we want to be able to set these expectations for our clients so our clients know what to expect. So if that's as much as saying, "Hey, we'll have this report for you, or we'll have a response for you in 24 hours," that's great. Then we can go back and let our clients know. If you're, but communication. Clear. cut.
Excellent.
My non-negotiable is integrity. Non-negotiable.
Ooh, love that
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
I
Can't even
love
get to
that
the
one.
communication part if you're not.
If you don't have integrity.
You won't even
Mm.
get past my front doors.
No.
Mm-mm.
Doors? You have double swingers?
I am
Double-
single and available.
You have a French door in the front?
Hold on. Single and available. I
Kent, what's your
don't need
non-negotiable?
any help.
Hold on, I'm trying to catch my breath. Yeah, I was going to say she said it a lot more delicately. I just if you're an asshole or a douchebag, no thanks. I don't need that. Yeah,
Love that.
Hi,
she.
I'm an asshole.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
crap, did
No,
you get
you're
it? Are you getting business?
I mean, you
Great,
can be.
awesome.
No, you're not.
Oh,
No, you're not.
well,
But you know,
that's
you know
okay.
what I mean.
That's
And
okay.
that's that integrity piece. And you're just like, oh God, I don't even. Ugh.
Yeah, you're not an asshole or a douchebag.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
but people are scared of me. They somehow think I am. Like you've said twice. You said twice. How was the talk with Dawn? People are scared to talk to me, but I'm actually a really big softie.
No, I agree with that. I come off a bit aggressive. Gregarious as fuck.
Gregarious as fuck.
I'm gregarious as
Very
fuck.
gregarious.
I don't think you come off of aggressive. I think sometimes you come across.
I've been
as
described
not-
many times as
not as
aggressive.
serious as you really can be.
Yes. Okay. So then, but when we really sit down and talk, if I want something, I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to like go make sure I get it. But so I have been described as aggressive. I know that.
Let's see what the caseworker says on that.
yeah. Let's see what,
Can we just ask his wife?
you can. Absolutely. She's going to say I'm gregarious as fuck.
That's right. That's right.
You know, gregarious?
Yes.
We learned that word.
We learned that word
He,
too.
he had no idea what it
Learned it.
was when I said it.
Oh.
Neither did
A
Robert.
precipice.
I'm a little bit in the dark on that one.
And
Gregarious?
Preston.
It's
Hey,
like-
oh,
it's
I
like
see what you did there. That's not as bad as that guy.
We got a picture. Yeah, you're right. We got a picture. We got a comparison picture.
Yes,
Before-
I'll be
before
both
and
that.
All right. So down to the end of the show, we got a few minutes left. It's time for what did you learn
What
today?
did you learn?
What did you learn today?
Ahas.
Yeah, your
What did you
nugget you
learn?
pulled from the show. That's it.
Mm.
And that's the last question is what did you learn
I knew
today?
that. I watched the show.
Yeah,
Um,
bullshit.
I
I'm
gotta
calling
think about
bullshit.
my aha.
I'm calling that I learned that Dawn doesn't really watch my show. And I'm going to have to start forwarding it to her and emailing it to her.
Mhm.
Nope. Wait.
Mhm.
You know what I learned?
Oh, yeah.
I learned that Dawn loves getting things in the mail.
I do. Send
And-
me things in the mail.
And I sent her the invite to this show
Oh, yeah.
in the mail, handwritten.
He did. I might actually.
He's
have
good
it.
at doing that.
No way. Really?
I actually brought it.
He's good at
All right,
doing that.
Michael,
Yeah.
what'd you learn? Because I haven't seen it in a while.
What did I learn? I was gonna let Dawn go first, but
No, you have to come on. You learned something today. I can't believe you lost it.
I didn't lose it. I threw it.
You should be using it. It is a useful note.
It's very funny. All right. Well, what he did. Dang it. Michael, didn't I have
We
it?
can't hear you in the microphones. We can hear you in the
Right.
studio. We can't hear you in the
So,
microphone.
That's
what,
great
what he did, I
podcasting.
thought I had it with me, but
Thank
I guess
you.
not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He took post. I asked him to send me a calendar invite, and apparently Joe does not know how to do a calendar invite. So instead, Joe took some post-it notes and said, "You are cordially invited to appear at my studio on this date," and mailed it to me.
And beautiful.
Stuck the post-it notes
And you know,
into
and she's here.
And
an
we laughed.
envelope.
We laughed so hard. I sent him something back in the mail.
But I haven't gotten it
Haven't
yet.
received
So I really wanted it before the show, but I haven't gotten it yet. So either A, it's the post office,
I
or
put
B,
it- I put it directly in the blue box in the parking lot across the street.
are you
Still
sure
probably-
that's the right blue box, or is that like a
I
recycling
didn't say
bin?
blue ball.
Did you put it in a recycling bin?
Hey, oh, hey. It's a family
What
show.
was your aha?
That it's good to have a bench full of power partners, opposed to
Yeah.
necessarily just committing to one. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself and not be able to, have backups and things like that.
Love that.
Very cool. What
Love
was
that.
yours?
Wow,
What
now
what
you're
I
taking over
learned.
my show.
Yeah. What I learned is the integrity and the honesty and That's what really, to me, gives you a power partner.
Power pounder.
Pounder. Yeah, that's it, right?
We are on the precipice of losing it right now.
We really are. There was too many people in the room. What was happening? That was
Okay, all right, Dawn.
All right. And I learned that this is a really good show, and I'm going to tune in on Fridays at 3:00.
Your nose. Shut your nose, really?
Yep.
Yes.
It
All
is a
right.
great show.
Show's over.
All right.
It is a great
Boom. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. Happy Easter and Mazel Tov or
Shalom.
Shalom. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Yep.
No.
Peace.
Bye.